Hey guys, it's the Chad, your C10 truck nerd. A while back, my cousin Garrett picked up this 1967 Chevy C10 long bed at an auction. His plan was just to go through and flip it for a few $100, and that's when I decided to kind of introduce myself into the deal. The main reason is lately I've got a lot of requests for the year-specific 67 C10 parts, so we talked about it and decided to go through and just part this one out. Well, our goal is to go through and have this thing completely blown apart in 6 hours. It's probably going to take us 60, but we'll see. Well, usually I'm not a big fan of parting one of these trucks out unless I absolutely have to, but this was a pretty easy decision because this one didn't come with a bed, a title, the back of the frame's been cut, and truly, with all the year-specific parts, it's worth more money just selling it in pieces than an entire truck. So if we take a look at it, it's fairly complete. Most of the sheet metal's here. It does have a 6-banger with a 3-speed. It's got the wrong hood on it, but it's not that big of a deal. But truly, it's a pretty complete truck minus the bed. So I think once we start pulling all this stuff apart, there's quite a few smalls that are going to make us a decent amount of money. It's got a 12-bolt, trailing arms look really good on the back of it, and scrap's going pretty high right now, so whatever's left over we can pretty much take in for 170 bucks a ton. So it's cold, it's right at the freezing mark, so we're going to drag this into the shop where it's warm and work there. Well, if you guys have never parted out a 67 to 72, it's really not that hard. Truly, the main things that you're going to need is probably a couple cans of WD-40 or penetrating oil, a half, a 9/16 and 5/8 inch sockets, a ratchet, a grinder, and maybe a few suspension tools. Now, if you're lucky enough to have a lift or power tools, that's just a bonus. Now, this truck, it didn't have a bed when Garrett bought it, so that's probably going to save us about an hour of labor, so we don't have to go through and grind off all the bed bolts, unhook the electric, and just lift it up off the chassis. So that's a pretty good start. Now, I'd say before you get going too deep into parting the truck out, main thing you want to do is get a couple of coffee cans, or if you've got a box of gallon Ziploc bags and a permanent marker. That way when you start taking all the nuts and bolts off, you can label it, because within about 10 minutes, we're not going to remember what these parts went to. That way, if you're going to reuse them for your own build or sell them, you have a good start. So some of the first things we need to do is get into this truck, and the problem is the doors are locked. Well, actually they're not locked, they just don't open. So that's a problem. We also don't have keys to this truck, so since I'm the skinnier of us two, I think I'll Bo Duke it through one of the windows and pull the door panel and see if we can't pop the latch from the inside. If not, we might just be spending 6 hours just on the doors alone. So
hey, this
let's.
one's at least halfway open, Chad.
Well, yeah, that's a start.
I got a finger in there.
So yeah, let's start the stopwatch and see what happens.
All right, don't look at that clock. It doesn't move.
All right, here we are, 8:57. Go. It's good time. Small windows are for dummies. Oh! Oh! I made it! That was scary. Ooh, that's wet. down didn't work. Let's try it. I'm pushing on it. Vice grips there. Really.
Give it the beam.
Give it to her. This might have been a bad idea right off the bat. So. I'm stuck. Try number 50. Oh, holding seat. Oh, it's gonna be ugly. Watch your faces. Alright, I'm pushing. Oh, steering wheel. That's it. You dirty son of a gun.
That's a lot of stuff.
Floor panel may be a little dented, but so that was just bound up.
Wow.
And it was
You kicked that good.
size 11.
Why are
Did
there
it.
gloves in here?
Okay. Okay, the first door took us like an hour and 20 minutes. This one we're at it for, I don't know, 15, 20. Give it a whirl. See if it worked. Dang it.
Still don't have the.
No button.
Yeah, no button.
All right, 5 more minutes. Here we go. Success. It's not the way to do it, I'm pretty sure, but it works. I'm gonna die. So here's these custom headrest for a 67 C10. Nothing like factory. How's the inside looking?
That's filthy. Really, really gross, but actually,
Oh,
it's there.
it's a little mousy, ratty.
Mainly just dirt.
Yep, it's pretty dang complete in here. What is? Oh yeah, what is that box? What did we figure that was?
It's a light box.
Oh, for like a spotlight up there or something?
Yeah, like a light bar.
No, that was the little dentage there. Whoops. But it's coming together.
No build sheet.
No build sheet on that one, eh?
No build sheet.
Bummer.
Can't hold this by myself. My shoulders. Might be.
Don't put it on the mirror.
Is that it?
Can't believe you stepped on them.
Yeah, I mean, I've stepped on it.
Golly, these are. I mean, look at them.
They're metal.
They're like $1 million.
So it's always kind of fun to open the paperwork up in some of these. What's a small world is this paperwork's from 1977 from Greenlight Auto, which is hilarious because my dad was the manager of Greenlight Auto for a lot of years. So pretty cool to find these weird things that relate back to him. Well, we've pretty much made it as far as we're gonna get without putting it on the lift. It's bad. It's also, whoops, not going as good as we thought. The doors really kicked our butt. You having fun yet?
We're good. I'm
Yeah.
tired.
Yeah, so let's go through, and I gotta eat something because I'm about to pass out, and then we'll get back after it. So was parting this truck out the best idea I ever had? Absolutely not. It's fun. It's just going way slower than I thought it was going to. It's just all these bolts are like welded together with rust. It's just not good. So, you know, 60 hours? I mean, 6 hours? 60 hours is probably more like it. So we'll keep going. And here's the bottom view. Here it found a small exhaust leak there. It's
pretty repairable.
Yeah, it's kind of not good, but yeah, it's really not horrible. It's a pretty decent old cab. Just needs supports, some floor repair, and corners, and a full rebuild. That's how you hold your lower A arm on there too. Is with some, what is that, wire?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's a speaker wire.
Perfect. Rolls great that way, so. All right, let's keep kicking. Well, the cab bolts, well, 2 of them won't come out, so gas axe to the rescue. Just light it all on fire. Let's just call it a day. Are you licensed to hold that? Good enough for me. Alright. Watch your legs, Link. Oi. Get over that, you old fart.
Is there slosh in there?
Nope.
Just a lot of varnish.
A lot of varnish. There's another all-purpose piece of scaffolding. See if it holds. Perfect. So, learning lesson. Garrett just used the gas axe and got the frame real hot, and I was trying to do some work back here, and I touched it with my hand, and I like cooked it. Hurts.
It's gonna hurt for a while.
It's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. So earlier I told you guys that there is a lot of year specifics to a 1967 truck, and I think that's why they're so desirable. Now, some of the things you'd run into would be the kick panel vent handles, the steering columns, the front fenders, the beds, the tailgates, the wing windows, the wiper switches. I mean, that list just keeps going on and on. A while back I went through and did a full 1967 year specific video with my buddy Kurt and his long bed. We went through and found at least 30 or 40 differences that were just one-off for a 67. Now I'm gonna continue on with that series and try to make it through all of the 6 years. So if you guys wanna know what's specific about your truck, check those videos out.
Yep.
A lot of horsepower.
Yep.
It's all in the grunt.
It's all in the back.
So if you guys don't know, on the back of the 67 to 72s, on the rear differential, there is a number on the top passenger side, and this one is a HA12. If you take a look at it, in 1967, an HA is a 373. Well, other than the chassis, here's our junk pile or scrap pile so far. And here's all the stuff that we've salvaged that I'll be selling soon. Pretty good stuff. Get this loaded up here in a little bit. Well, the 67 C10 is officially dead. It did take us 8.5 hours to get as far as we did today. This thing was just extremely rusty. Everything fought us the entire way, and I burnt my hand and it hurt real bad too. So Garrett's gonna go through, finish up the last little bit. We've probably got a couple hours to go still. I'm gonna load everything up, put it in the back of the truck, get it to the house so the wife and the neighbors can appreciate all the yard art from this beautiful find too. Well, if you guys haven't, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you haven't checked out my other 67 to 72 videos, check them out. They're kind of informational or informative, or I don't know, they're pretty good. Well, if you guys got kids, grandkids, or even a neighbor kid, you know, if you're out working on your old trucks, invite them over, you know, teach them how to change the oil, a spark plug, or just turn the wrenches, you know. They're our next generation. If we don't teach them, there's going to be no more hot rodding. Well, I appreciate your time, and thanks for watching.